welcome. Come on in. Art day. We're doing art today. We're drawing Kazooie. We have previously drawn Banjo. Over here, we got Banjo. It's him. Yeah, but in like a cool fantasy sort of. If they were in an RPG, that's the idea. So that's what we're doing, but now it's with Kazooie. Holy shamoly. And we're gonna make her a ranger. And I've got kind of no idea what I'm doing with Kazooie. I'll be honest. I really went into this with just zero plans. So we'll figure it the fuck out. I think it might be nice so she could look like she's standing next to Banjo here. But I don't fucking know. They may just be individual pieces. But yeah, we get to slow down and chill out a little bit. Not be so wound up by the trials and tribulations of a crazy video game. That's first. Okay, so Ranger. That's the thing. She's got all of her ranged weapons, especially her eggs. And so that's kind of the idea. So she's got to have a bow. So, and I think I want her standing upright. Oh, my brush is really big right now. Hang on. We'll make it. There we go. I want her kind of standing up in sort of like opposition to Banjo. You know, Banjo's really, you know, forward. You know, he's in his big crouch. And I think I want to kind of show their difference in character by having Kazooie very much like facing the enemy head on, as it were. Now the thing about a really upright pose like this, I've already done it wrong. I've got this like line of action, you see, and then I didn't follow it. You see how I've got my line of action going from her neck down her spine, and then I just drew a box that is, you know, got a curve in the center in the back, but I didn't change anything in the front, so I need to fix that. I was like, I do want her kind of leaning back. I want her leaning back and standing really upright. I do want to create like this, like a bit of a, I want her to feel really upwards, cause she bird, you know? So let's get some basic shapes in here, and then flesh those out. She's gonna have long-ass, skinny legs. And we're gonna rotate her a little bit. There we go, that's what I want. Great. Great, good. And then she'll have like arms at the ready. So, holding her bow, kind of downward. And then, we're ready to shoot. Great! Awesome. Okay, cool. Now we can really start to flesh out that idea. I'm yelling, and I realize I've got my volume up. All the way up. I'm like, man, my background music just so fucking loud today. So yeah, bitch, you did that. Yeah, we'll go in straight with our blue. I want to make sure I get kind of this angle right. And obviously she needs to have a big ass nose, cause beak equal nose. You don't have to do that, but it just feels right. It's an easy way to get kind of the shape of her face. I might even make that bigger, but I'm a chronic big nose drawer. My background is compensating for the Wario music. Will this one also have a pointy chin? Did I give Banjo a pointy chin? Or just like to kind of complete the beak idea? Probably not. Just because it's easy to end up, you know that one picture of Joey Wheeler? The one where he's got like a big ass smile and then his jaw is like crazy. You've all seen it. You've all seen Joey. It's easy to end up with that. So let's kind of get the shape of a body going on here. We're probably gonna make her pretty flat-chested. Kazooie just doesn't strike me as a particularly big goyle. And I think it's because she's an athlete, you know? Also, I mean, if we want to, so we got the chicken legs, that's the thing. We got chicken legs, but no, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring things out as we go. So the reason my anatomy is gonna be a little, but we're gonna be basically hiding it anyway, so, like, that's her hips, basically. But then, yeah, she's got her thin-ass little chicken legs. They're not gonna go to quite points like this. I'd like slightly more realistic legs here. Do you like how in Grim Magic, I started out with limbs were all just, you know, legs were this and arms were this, and now I'm like, okay, now my arms are this, but now I'm just drawing legs. I keep finding myself, like, putting too much effort into them. And then I'm like, simplify, self, and I'm like, yeah, sorry. And then I fucking don't, because I'm stupid. God, this leg is clearly longer than this one, so I'm kind of marking where the knee ought to be. I also gotta make sure her legs aren't crazy disproportionate. Because I do tend to, I mean, I think you all have seen my latest model in full, yeah? The one that with the jacket and everything. The knees aren't long, or like the calves aren't long enough. This and this will be the same length. So, you know, avoid a goofy looking character accordingly. But you all have seen my latest model in full, how it's mostly leg. Let me open that up really quick. Where am I? Well, the thing is, I keep naming things like me new. It's like, so everything being, it's impossible to find anything. Okay, here it is, the, layers. I didn't layer it all properly for this example picture. But you can see that it's like, look at how much of that is just leg. I didn't realize this until I was like looking over Allison's shoulder when she was rigging my model. I was like, God damn, I do that? This is me, and then this is more than half of me. Cool. Alright, let's save. Oh, I already did. I'm too good at art. What kind of shoe? I mean, she's got, like, bird feet, so we're probably gonna stick with some level of a heel. Maybe not a huge one. I want to get better at drawing characters actually standing. I tend to draw characters kind of floating in space. But will she be sassy? I mean, it's Kazooie. Yeah, I'm making her. But yeah, I tend to draw characters floating in space, and that can be fun and all, but I want to get better at drawing characters actually, you know, like on ground. Cool. And then this means I actually want that arm to be way longer. We were getting a little cartoony with it. I'm gonna erase a bunch of crap so I can do it on another layer, basically. So that I can kind of go ham a little bit without worrying about fucking up what I've already done that looks good. Okay. Yeah, usually your fingertips won't quite reach your knees. Arms down, your fingertips will reach a little bit above your knees. Figuring out how fucking long your arms are has been the plight of me as an artist. I remember in school, I'd have people, I'd be like, stand, just stand around for a second. Stand with your arms down. What do you look like? And golly, it do just be tough to make arms just look like they belong. It doesn't help I've chosen a pretty, complicated angle here. This would be easier if I had this arm be the down one. So I should just do that. You know, work smarter, not harder. Because I can see what I'm fucking doing over here. And we got an arm. Awesome. Okay, great. And then, yeah, this arm will be bent instead. As she kind of has her bow at the ready. But let's draw the bow. Hang on, I'm focusing on bows. They're a pretty distinct shape. Okay, good. There are different types of bows. There's recurves and long bows. And of course, compact bows. Compact bows are the ones... I'm drawing Kazooie! I'm drawing her. Compact bows are the ones that are, like, more machinery, but traditional bows, we got, recurves and long bows, I believe is how they're called. Do I have that curve right? I think I do. But it might be upside down. I need to Google a bow. Hang on, I need to Google. Recurve bow. Images, okay. Okay, it's not bad. It's a little short. I can make the bow better. So we're gonna basically take it. I'm going to free transform it. I want to make it longer. There we go. And now we'll do the other side. That's the one thing about working digitally that's just I cherish. Is that I can copy and paste things and move things around so easily. I find myself wishing I could do that quite often when working. The curve is pretty intense. I'm gonna give myself that as a note. The curve is a little intense for how far back it's not going. Let's maybe flatten these curves a little bit. At this point, I might just want to redraw it. What am I doing here? What am I doing? I'm gonna redraw the bow. Eventually you get to a point where it's like, I'm fighting against myself. So, it's in her hand. Yeah, that's a solid part of it. And then, it kind of goes out. It curves a little bit. I need to choose one bow as a reference. We'll copy this guy, and I'll come back to you guys. See what you all can say. Our reference. So here, let's erase that mess. And it does have a curve, but it's kind of mostly straightish, and it curves and then comes back. Awesome. Mostly straightish, then it curves, and then I can just make it bigger. Gonna erase that part, we don't need it, and then kind of make it bigger, and that's our bow. That's our bow. Wowie wow. Wow wow willikers. Okay. And then you just make it actually look good. This is why I don't do fantasy characters. You gotta give them weapons, and obviously I'm not quite... pretty bad at that. There's a bow in there. Yippee! Okay, great. Now I can try the other hand. They are pretty big. This one's honestly, oh, it's also kind of, whoa, wrong layer. Yeah, those are pretty big, and it still looks like ass. I swear to fucking Christ. Okay. This is, one side is not curving nearly enough. No, I don't know what I just did. Yep, I copied it. Copied and pasted it, it seems. That's interesting. Yep, yeah, look at that. Wow. Okay, so then I'll just erase the part I don't want anymore. And then kind of fuse all those layers together. So I've got a fucking bow. Okay, great! Banjo running up to you with Kazooie on piggyback, shooting you with arrows sounds pretty terrifying. They can handle any RPG adventure easily. Oh, that's right. The bow is also just a little like. There we go. There we go. It's still not even, and it's starting to upset me. That's fine. Just. There we go. That's why I don't draw symmetrical things. This is why everyone bums around in forests and not in buildings. Let's get this other arm in here. Straight lines are also impossible. So, okay. Like a notched arrow. But like kind of half notched. Critter just had to choose Ranger, huh? Critter couldn't have chosen something easy to draw. It's not even notched right. Like it's not connected to the line of the bow where it would be. This is why you sketch. This is why you if your sketching is like too pretty, then I implore you to study how to be more loose with your line work. Cause at this point, like, people whose sketches could pass as like finished pieces, it's like, I don't know, you're robbing yourself of a lot of mistakes doing it that way. It's nice to have like really clean, pretty sketches all the time, but especially if it's like a sketchbook, like this is for study kind of a thing, then yeah, your lines shouldn't all be pretty all the time. There we go. Holy for holies, Batman. It's Kazooie and a bow that's got a lot going on. Cool. Now we can lower that opacity and get ourselves another layer of actually kind of fleshing out all these details. I'll keep the initial sketch layer too, though, because fuck it, you can't stop me. So we're gonna jump back to red. Critter saves us from the horror that is Wizard Kazooie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen of you playing Banjo and Kazooie, don't have voices. They just make noises. Do you have any headcanon voices for them? That's a great question. That's such a good question. I guess in a perfect world, I would want them to be British, but sort of ignoring that limitation, I got it in my head, I think Mary Elizabeth McGlynn could do a great Kazooie. And if you don't know her, you would know her best as Julia from Cowboy Bebop, probably. So that's, Spike's, like, girlfriend. I think she could do a great Kazooie. She tends to be cast in more sort of, like, serious roles, but I don't know, something in my head says that she could just do a great job at that. Kazooie's hair is gonna be hard. I'll handle that later. Handle the rest of the outfit first. Banjo's tough, because he's got kind of that there's a similar sort of voice range as, like, Sans that I think is tough for people to approach. I think people struggle with Sans to make it sound natural. And I think Banjo would have that same problem of kind of having a lower but softer voice that doesn't sound like someone doing a voice. I guess I choose Halsin's voice actor, because he does that, and I know it's kind of funny, because Halsin from Baldur's Gate 3 is a bear. Like, that's kind of the whole thing. But that descriptor exactly of being able to have a soft-spoken character, but, like, still kind of deep, without it sounding like a voice, like, that's just his voice. And so, I think he could do, a pretty dang decent job. Sorry, I heard a weird noise. It's either Allison doing something, a neighbor doing something, or the wind. If it matters to me, it'll find its way to me. But that's a cool question. I'm pretty bad at fan casts. I tend to kind of have a handful of voice actors I like, and I try to find ways to get them into the cast of things that I like. But yeah, cool question. But yeah, they don't have, like, speaking rules. You all probably know Grant Kirkhope technically voices Mumbo. Because we all watched that, ancient Game Grumps where they had Grant Kirkhope on as a guest, and it was such the best, this was back when John was still on the Game Grumps, and it still remains in my head the best, Game Grumps, like, guest Grumps, just because it was effectively Grant Kirkhope just drops a bunch of cool facts about games he's worked on. Alright, I'm probably gonna give Kazooie some kind of bracers, but I wanted to get kind of the arrow situated, especially since I'm gonna give her some hilarious pants. I want to create the shape of bird. You know how birds have, you got your chicken wing, and then bird leg, and so we're creating the shape with some puffy shorts. Gotta focus, because I don't want my girl to look stupid. Wouldn't want to incur the wrath of Kazooie. Nice! There's a part of me that thinks I could push that shape more, but with the bow in front of her too, I don't want to sort of overcomplicate the silhouette. Let's get this other hand in here. Since I've got so much going on, I need to get all these sort of details figured out. Including the bow. Uh-oh. To be honest, I always imagine them as slightly different Kronk and Yzma. They're so Kronk and Yzma coded. You're so right. Howdy hoo-hoo. Welcome. Glad you like the question. I was just curious because I love when people do OC voice claims for the characters and stuff like that. Oh, hell yeah. I like that shit too. I love seeing shit like that. I've got, I don't think I'd ever do it for Grim Magic, just because I'm not a fan of as many female voice actors. Not to say I dislike them. I like more male voice actors. But I do have a fan cast for Grim Magic. And that could theoretically be subject to change. But yeah, I think it's fun. A couple of standout ones that you all would know includes Ray Chase as Enoch. Ray Chase you might know him best as Eve from Nier Automata. He's also Tengen in Demon Slayer. I love Ray. Ray is so good. I think my favorite voice cast of my little fan cast is Kaiji Tang as Uriel. I love Kaiji Tang. What a cool guy. So yeah. I can never remember how to pronounce his last name. He voices Fear the Deer. Just Joe. Joe? Is that his name? I can't remember any part of his name. He voices Claude from Fire Emblem. I think I would cast him as Ram. But yeah, I think that's fun too. Okay, good. So now we got kind of all that figured out. I might make her shorts bigger. But I need to get an important element up here. She's a ranger, so she's got to have a cool cloak. And she's a bird, so of course the cool cloak is going to be double extra super cool. I tend to naturally want to put Kazooie in with shorter hair. I want to make sure I really kind of think over that idea. What if I just want it to be long but up? I don't think I want her to have just long down hair. I need to think about the shape of this one. Okay. That's dynamic. That's dynamic and good. Hang on. I'm focusing on feathers. I need to concentrate for a second. Okay. Oh, god damn, that's cool. One of my OCs has the voice of the lady who voices Mabel from Gravity Falls. I can't remember her name at the moment. Oh, I know who you're talking about, though. She's a good one. Are you gonna do her egg stuff? I will find a way. Definitely gonna have, like, blue-tipped feather, like arrows, because that's kind of how it all comes around. I also need to remember to include a quiver for her arrows as well. Which I think, usually that's over your shoulder, but you can have a quiver on your hip. I think I want to do it like that. Or, I mean, kind of... Oh, fuck. That's actually pretty cool, though. Never mind. Classic quiver. Coming in hot. Let's get her arms in here. I think I'm gonna give her bracers. Because I think bracers on archers are cool. It was the coolest I ever felt. I've shot a bow and arrow before, of course. And what you can do as kind of a newbie archer is something you can see is they'll have bracers, you know, on their arm. So, you know, they've got their hand. Okay. And then, like, a cool thing to protect here. And this is on actually their shooting arm. Like, the arm that holds the bow. So, because if you pull the bowstring back and your arm is, like, bent forward too far, you can, whip yourself with the bowstring. And it hurts a lot. And so, you get a cool bracer, and that protects you, and also, you look like a badass. So maybe I'll just give her one bracer on her bow arm here. Maybe a sick asymmetrical design with this. Could be nifty. I like how, when drawing characters that are based on birds, Twiins adds a cape or cloak. Meanwhile, I'm like, let's put long dangly fabric that'll most likely get in the way. I watched a video that was really fun. It was talking about, there's an artist who's pretty well known, who, like, does something that I like to do a lot, which is draw things as human characters. And it was really fun, because it was a video about the artist, and they were talking about, a bunch of different, like, techniques that the artist uses, and it was really cool and really fun. I really liked it. But another thing about it that they talked about was how, like, the colors, and obviously they pulled from colors from the thing quite a lot, but it was also, like, the placement of colors. Like, for example, they have a character that's, like, a cup of beer, you know, like, beer. And so it's, like, the white head and then, like, yellow beer glass, and the character was such a cool design. They had, like, big white hair, and they had a hat with, like, big white feather in it, and then the rest of their design was that kind of goldy yellow, all down here. And created, like, not just the silhouette of the beer, but also the same color placement. And it's something, like, obviously I'm pulling colors from my stuff a lot, but it was the idea of being really particular of the placement of colors that I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. And I really enjoyed the video. So that's fun. And I think that's why I tend to put capes and shit on birds, because I'm trying to recreate that silhouette. But you're so right. I do tend to do it a lot. So, nuts and bolts, not like this. With another drawing stream idea, could be drawing Banjo-Kazooie in modern times. I don't know how well I could do that. Or do you mean like human version modern times? I think the one I've already done is enough like that, and those were kind of boring. It's why I wanted to do them as fantasy anyway. Because Banjo especially was just like a guy wearing a t-shirt and shorts. Adios, Cereza. Have fun at work. Make smart choices. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do anything fancy with Kazooie's shirt, or if I just want it to be like a tight shirt. Do I want her tum to be exposed? I'll think about that. Let's get her legs, which are not gonna have a whole lot of detail in them. That's the trick of it, is that the legs are gonna be quite simple, because that offsets things. You don't want a bunch of visual noise all across a character, because then it all becomes noise. You want parts to be noisy, and you want even things that may want the emphasis to contrast. Contrasting elements is a huge part of art. Kazooie's got big ass feet. She's got these skinny little bird legs and then fucking honkers. And so I want to echo that. I know I tend to like give her like thigh highs, and then no, I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna give her some thick ass boots. We're going to bring back in sort of our wing motif down here. That might be good. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll think about it. But I want to be really big with these shapes. Hell yeah. Because big shapes read better. There's nothing wrong with, like, giant boots like this. Actually, do I like it better open? Yes, but I actually want this side to be even bigger. Hell yeah. This is something I see a lot in the artist for Drakengard, whose name I can never remember. I love their art so much, though. I see this a lot in their work, which I think is a really great example of pushing silhouettes. You see a lot of huge boots and sleeves, and they end up looking so good. Because as long as you're aware of your shape language, like, the bigger doesn't end up looking goofy. You know, bigger is sort of better, you know? Of course, you can always push it too far, but even then, if I gave Kazooie shoes this wide might be a little ludicrous, but in a more cartoony setting, that could totally work. Think about Sonic, you know? Sonic with his fat ass shoes on his stick little legs. That's kind of what you're thinking of there. Get these lines in here so I don't lose her legs. Nice. Okay. And then her quiver will come all the way down. Kind of see the hook of that there. And more arrow fletchlings. Fletchings. And I'm wondering if I don't think I want her cape to be bigger. I think that would be sort of too much. But I do want her hair to be sort of exciting. I want to balance these big shoes. And so we're going to. I'm also concerned in that I want to get the shape of her tail feathers in here as well somewhere. Now, let me think. I'm thinking about her... About her chest, basically. It fades from this red to yellow, and I'm thinking about implying that with the shirt, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want Kazooie. I'm not sure what skin tone I want Kazooie to have yet. So, we're gonna approach that in a second. Let's focus on something else. I want to try to get a tail feather shape on here, which I think I can do, actually quite smartly, by accessorizing, basically. I can add feathers wherever I want. It's just a matter of, but where? Do I want to add just like, you know, fucking a thing with some feathers on it, on a leg, or does that end up feeling a little hokey? I think I like the legs being quite bare. That's sort of the point. Let's get her head. Let's get a head in here. Kazooie's got a really unique little hair tuft that we can try to recreate, and I think I know how. We're going to. Kind of an updo. Let's get this nice head shape I got down. Okay, and then... There's her eye. There's the side of her head. Okay. Okay. I needed to know where everything was. So, yeah, the jaw actually kind of goes up like that. So we can ignore this. I'm on multiple layers right now. And her nose. The nose, of course, lines up with the ear. That can help you find your jawline in situations like this. Especially since her hair is going to be up, so there's kind of nowhere to hide. So basically, what I'm thinking... Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this. Sorry, I started exactly like the vine. Yeah. Fancy updo that I actually want to render a little bit differently, but that's basically it. Fancy updo. That I just can't fucking draw right. From this stupid fucking angle. What if we just make it more fantasy? I can do that. So let's get the edge of her hair here. It's a fancy updo, but since we're working with basically anime characters, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, Kazooie's got some real angry eyebrows, always. So I think I want her to have bangs that are kind of in the center of her hair. Different from Banjo's, though. A bit more of a modern anime bang look, in a way. The reason for this is I'm effectively recreating the shape of her angry eyebrows with her hair. I also really like big shoes on characters. Hello, welcome. I'm a sucker for like a shoe-heavy design. So basically, what I'm thinking is, I'm doing it again. I'm just saying the vine again. No, I'm a bit of a fan of this sort of outy hair look. How do we feel about that? I feel like it's too much that way. So you just hit back a whole lot. That's another thing I really like about working digitally, is that I get to fuck around and decide if something looks good or not. I'm pulling my hair up. I'm thinking about how hair looks when it's pulled up like this. And then it's clipped. And it comes up quite quickly. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think what we got is okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then, because, you know, she bird with her feathers, she's gonna have a couple alfalfa flyaways. Does any of you know about Alfalfa? Does any of you know that character? From Little Rascals? I'm looking at her. She's got some pretty eyelashes. Some real dang big ass pretty eyelashes. And kind of a good sharp point on the bottom there. Wow. That's Kazooie. I do actually, a part of me thinks I do want the cape to be bigger. I do think I do want that. Which is scary, because I quite like how it looks right now. Perfectly snotty hairstyle for her. Yeah, let me look at something. No. Okay. There we go. That's what I needed. Sorry, I know I was quiet. I was thinking, because I wanted to, you know, kind of pull your eye upward a little bit. Her shoes are so big, I wanted a little bit something more happening up here to balance that a little. And I figured it out, so yippee. I think I do, we got most of what I want in Kazooie. Of course, I think Kazooie is pretty cool, pretty hip. I think she could have some big cool hoop earrings. This is just a character thing. I think it's cool. It's a little modern, but you know, we're playing a little fast and loose. And that, if adding too much more, could complicate her face. So, oh, wahey. I might do that. I might line her boots with feathers. What about the bottom of the boots? Ooh, that looks way better. Okay. Yahoo! Wahey! I think we've figured out Kazooie very efficiently. We struggle bust with Banjo quite a bit. Buckwheat was always one of my little rascals. Okay, I'm glad you guys know. We loved Little Rascals. And just like, there's like a movie, specifically, that we would watch a lot. Critter and I, growing up. I know that there's like another more original Little Rascals, but like an old TV show, but golly, it was just cute shit, cute little guys. And yeah, Alfalfa, if you ever hear old people talk about, and you got an Alfalfa or something, he was a funny little boy. He had like little buck teeth. I'm pretty sure he had buck teeth. And he had slicked back hair, kind of a thing. I can't remember if he had a widow's peak or not. But, he always had, you know, one hair that would stick up. And he was always really well dressed, cute little guy. And so that's what they're referring to. as Alfalfa. Okay, let's get some line art happening. Line art. Never saw the movie, but I watched the old black and white shows all the time. I think they're pretty similar. I think the movie was basically, I think it was trying to be a soft reboot. So yeah, I think there's a lot of overlap, which is good. She already has the feathery cape, but a feather earring would be cool, but maybe too many feathers. That may be too many feathers. It would be cool. An alt outfit version. We could also decorate her bow with feathers, but we'll see about that. I watched it once as a kid. I barely remember anything from it, but Alfalfa was iconic. Somebody had mentioned that Critter saved us from Wizard Kazooie. But I think I was reluctant to make Kazooie a wizard anyway, because I was thinking about including in this fun little kind of art quest, I was thinking about including Yuka and Laylee. And I think Yuka specifically could easily be a wizard. What do you guys think? Fuck, I can't fuck up her face. How do you guys feel about artists? I see this all the time. Where it's like artists will be doing like this. And it's great to want to be, you know, particular with things. But sometimes I see artists and they're fretting over, like, the least visible detail. And it's like, honey, you're holding yourself up to too high of a standard. I guess with the undo button you can. But, I don't know. I say, what do you think about artists like that? It's not like I want you to say, like, oh, I hate them. But, I don't know. I feel like it's almost teaching you bad habits. Being so on top of the undo button like that. But also, like, what is a bad habit in art, you know? I just think about this stuff. I think about art a lot. I know it may not seem like it, but I do. Wizard combo and Bard scary fridge lady. Oh my god, I forgot about the scary fridge lady. Definitely needs a golden feather Matakami fit. Hell yeah. That would be so cool. Kazooie's fun to draw, but birds are pretty fun to draw. We're doing an art stream, not what I thought based on the title. What is the title? Isn't it Kazooie but in an RPG? I hope so. I thought I changed it. Spell checks on your ass today. That's okay. Spell check. I was messaging Zagreus on the Discord earlier, and spell check beat my ass so hard that he was like, I don't know what you're saying. Just a spell checky kind of day. I'm glad that I've obtained a new phone recently, and I'm glad. Fuck, man, that's a bad angle there. And I'm glad to see that even with a new phone, typing just feels bad these days. I don't know what it is. It's like everything's too sensitive. Maybe my thumbs are just too fat. I don't know, but like, I feel like I'm constantly typing in the wrong wrong letters for things that I didn't used to have that problem with. You know, like, it just feels like I'm more likely to spell things wrong, but not because I don't know how to spell them, but just because I fat finger my way across the keyboard. In that regard, I wouldn't mind an actual keyboard to come back. You know, back in my day, cell phones looked like this, and you had a real keyboard, but you had to, like, quadruple tap a number. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever thought about how, call this number now, or text, you know, 888, big wombo or whatever it is. That's how you get those numbers. You know, 1 would be A, B, C, and then 2 would be D, E, F. In order to spell, you had to, like, if I wanted to spell dad, you were type 2, or how about, dead. You type 2 once for D, and then 2 twice for E, and then A, you know, 1, 1, and then 1, 1, and then 1, 2, or, yeah, 1, 1, and then 1, 2 to get dead. That's how it used to be. That's how you used to have to text people. That's why millennials made all these abbreviations. Because in order to text people with any level of efficiency, instead of saying, ha 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 ha, say LOL, because that was quicker. These small WTF, that's way, way quicker than actually spelling out what the fuck. And then, olds made fun of us for that, and it's like, shut up. She's giving Mononoke in some ways. She's very cool. To be fair, you were doing Kazooie in an RPG, Baldur's Gate, for a while. You know, I was doing that. I gave up on that because 1, it felt like it was taking forever. 2, I was worried that the streams were boring. 3, I don't think the video quality came out good enough for me to actually make a video about it. Like, not like I wasn't funny enough necessarily, but I think the videos look bad. Whenever I tried to download them. So, I don't know, I just gave up on that adventure, and I liked getting, you know, we found our banjo at least, so that's nice. One of my friends on Discord is like that. They will send art in the art channel, then they send it again saying fix the mistake, and it looks exactly the same. I think, I remember, I forget who it was, but I do remember an artist in a video mentioning once, like, sometimes you just have to be like, it's done. A piece is done. I'm looking at this right now, and it was like a speed paint kind of thing. It's like, I'm looking at this right now, watching this back while I, you know, record this audio, and I see something that I fucked up. And it's annoying me. And I could see what it was, too. I was like, oh, is something wrong? Oh, something is wrong. Basically, he had drawn, like, a character was flying. And, like, one knee was bent. But then he drew the knee behind the bent knee, like, way too wide, ended up, basically implied that there were, like, 3 legs or something. And I was like, damn, that's a bummer. And he's like, and I see that, and that's annoying me. But it's done. I'm not gonna go back and fix it, you know? And I think about that a lot. I think about how it's okay to just let a piece be done. How do belts work? What are they attached to? The rest of the belt, yeah? Yeah. Sorry, I needed to remember how physics. We'll add a line there, just to kind of increase the... People who bitch about... that looks too much like a penis. You really worried about that. Fun fact about Twiins making her, Pokemon region, the observatory tower that the Elite Four bum around in. I'm not good at drawing observatory towers. And then there's, like, implied stairs and windows. I was really worried someone would be like, that's a penis. I was really worried, and I haven't gotten a comment being like, so that tower is a penis, yeah? Because towers just kind of inherently look like penises. Most long things do. But golly, I was like, don't say it looks like a penis. Don't say don't. It made me feel like a hypocrite, because I am fast to be like, this looks like a penis, you know? And I was like, I didn't mean to, please, don't think I'm like some pervert, please. Mistakes do make us grow. It's an important part of life, is making mistakes, and I think especially young artists put themselves on too high of pedestals. I think a lot of people... They want things to be perfect. They don't, you know, I get questions like, how do you, and I see questions like this too, of how do you get good at, you know, writing or drawing or whatever it is? I want to make my own comic or show or whatever it is, and how do you know when you're good enough? And my answer, and the best answer I have also heard, is just accept that it's not going to be good. Just accept that it will be bad, and then you keep doing it anyway, and eventually you realize that it got good. And I think a lot of young artists want to be good right off the rip, and I so understand. And listen, I'd like to be good too. Maybe one day I will be. But you're not going to, if you wait until you're good to start, then you'll never start. I've learned the most in, like, comic production from actually making a comic. So just do it. And don't worry about the fact that you will absolutely fuck up. If you fuck up too bad, you say sorry, and then you make sure you do your best not to do it again. And there you go. It doesn't help when people are so critical and not constructive criticism, just flat out being rude as hell. That is true. Which is why posting your stuff online is scary. Because people are rude. Especially non-artists. Non-artists don't get how hard everything can be. But it doesn't mean their critique can't be inherently bad. I think a lot of people watch critics whose focus is being funny. And to be funny, they are a little bit more, you know, overt. They're a little bit more inflammatory, a little bit more big with everything, and that's okay. I think I'm at my funniest when I'm also being really hyperbolic. But people watch that, and then they not necessarily think that's how I give critiques, but then they don't understand the difference between offering a critique and being rude. And even if you can offer a critique and be rude at the same time, even if it is a valid critique. I remember early on in my comic making career, I got a comment on my comic that was right. They basically were bitching about my paneling and how bad it was. And they were right. But they were so rude about it that, you know, all it did was, like, upset me. And it's annoying because they were right. They could have been helping me, but instead they just ended up insulting me. And I just think people don't get that, and they'll be like, oh, well, you know, I'm just being honest. And it's like, well, you can be honest and still be nice. You know? So yeah. That is tough. It's something you'll have to brave eventually. Or don't, honestly. Fuck it. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to make art your career, you will have to at least get a little bit brave. Once you brave the rude nobodies on, like, you know, DeviantArt or what have you, then you'll be able to handle whatever it is your, like, clientele can throw at you. And teachers will also, that's another thing. If you actually, like, do some classes, all my teachers handled everything with pretty soft gloves. And I think it's because they understand that, you know, being mean gets you pretty kind of nowhere. But they will be honest, and you can tell when people aren't used to actually receiving critique. I do remember that very vividly in school. The teacher, I won't say her name. I don't remember her last name. But, a lot of people didn't like her. They go, she's mean. And I thought about every time I've ever interacted with her. And I was like, well, she doesn't strike me as particularly mean, but she does strike me as honest. She tells me when it's like, now, you know, Twiins, you know, that you haven't successfully conveyed this thing you're trying to do. This anatomy is off, your colors aren't right, what have you. And especially for a teacher, like, sometimes they have to actually be like, okay, so I am teaching you how to do something properly, and you have not done it properly. And she wasn't afraid to be like, okay, so I told you to do it like this and you didn't. And and so I think a lot of people in my classes just had never received sort of negative feedback. At least not good negative feedback. Because that's the thing. If all you've ever heard has been compliments, or all you've ever heard has been, like, people who don't know better online being mean, then obviously, yeah, it's a little tough to tell when a critique is valid and good. It's why I tell, and she wasn't, like, infallible. You know, sometimes she offered things that, you know, it's like, I think you should do it like this, and I would be like, ooh, I think that sounds like a bad idea, and so then I just wouldn't. And that's why I'm so willing to tell people, hey, don't, you know, if you don't want to listen to me, don't. because I certainly didn't when I was paying teachers to give me advice. But yeah, I know it can be tough. It can be tough and scary. I believe in you. If I can handle it, you can. Hey kid, the sky's the wrong color. You're the wrong color! I've posted my art online, and luckily I've had no rude comments, but I do worry for the day I will get one, but that's life. That's how I felt like I was finally, getting somewhere with YouTube. It was early on. I'll never forget the first mean comment. It was from someone whose, like, name was, like, Michael. Obviously it was not Michael Jones, but when reviewing Ruby, the first, like, outright rude comment we got was reviewing Ruby, and it was volume 5, episode 2, the one with Weiss, where she fights the bees. I can't believe I remember all that. And yeah, they were just left some kind of rude comment, and you know, I was fascinated, because I was like, we still only had like 300 subscribers or something like that. And I was like, why are you here? Some people don't understand between constructive criticism and being flat out jackasses. I always welcome constructive criticism on my work. Yeah, and it's tough because sometimes it can feel like an attack. Even when it, you know, it's not being an outright jackass, but sometimes it can feel, because art it's an intimate thing. I know intimacy is often, like, attributed to sex, but intimacy is really just kind of, you know, it's really personal to you. And especially as artists, we care so much. That's not straight at all. We care so much. I don't want to use a straight edge for this, so I can get the line width right, but I might end up doing that anyway. That's fine. But yeah, so it's rough because it can end up feeling like an attack, even when said without trying to, you know, to give harm or anything. Sorry, I just realized how ass this hand looks. I always tend to make the pointer knuckle really stick out like this. And I think it looks nice, but I also think it was just a little much for that. I think her whole hand ended up being a little bit long there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and the pinky. Okay, there we go. A fine hand. It was Michael Afton. Michael Afton, hands covered in children's blood. And he's leaving comments on YouTube like, actually, Ruby is perfect. It's gonna be a bit of an embarrassing admission. Sometimes I think about regaling you guys with my history making comics online. I've mentioned it before, that Grim Magic is not the first comic I've posted online. My first comic I ever posted online, comic series, does not exist anymore. Because it was on DeviantArt. It was on DeviantArt, and I deleted my whole DeviantArt channel when DeviantArt started doing like AI stuff. So it doesn't exist anymore. And sometimes I think about regaling you all with kind of stories of that. The problem is, I'm like, I don't know if any of my audience would, one, care about what my initial comic was about, or two, be aware of its existence in the first place. And I just don't know how to approach that. But yeah, sometimes I think about it. And there's a part of me that's like, what if they're like, oh my god, you're the one that drew that? And then I'm like, self, that wouldn't happen. Nobody cared. I would like to see it. How many people here used to like to watch Achievement Hunter? Did anybody ever care about Achievement Hunter? That's how I got into Rooster Teeth. Was actually through Achievement Hunter. Well, technically it was through actually the funny animated cartoons that Jordan, you know, the Rooster Teeth, like the podcast animated adventures. I remember very vividly my cousins showing us a couple of those. And that's how I got into Rooster Teeth. But yeah, because of that, obviously, we quite very much latched onto Achievement Hunter, because Gavin was the funniest one, obviously. Ray was my fave. Ray's everyone's fave. He's a good guy. My comic from back in the day was well over 200 pages. And it was an Achievement Hunter Minecraft fan comic. And it's so embarrassing. That's embarrassing. I worked on this thing for years. So golly. Sometimes I just think about that. Think about me old comic and it's just embarrassing. The thing is, I can so clearly, and even at the time I knew, but I didn't care, I can so clearly tell that, like, I wasn't writing the boys particularly accurately. 200 pages, I wish I had that dedication. I need to find her heel here. I'm kind of covered her with feathers. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you got a narrative you want to tell, a whole dang story. And that's the thing I remember very vividly. I posted like the first handful of pages, and for all of them I got comments from like one guy in particular I remember so clearly. It was about the Kings series. You know, they had their like little king adventures where one achievement hunter would give them you know, like, here, do some tasks, and then they do that, and then whoever won became the next king. You know, and then you got a lot of cool fan art out of those. And so it was basically about like Ryan being in a corrupt king, kind of a deal, and so yeah, I remember a commenter on the first handful of pages being very enthusiastic, like Viva la Revolution, kind of a deal. And I was like, honey, we're way early in the story for you to be saying revolution right now. Like, we got 139 more pages to go through. And I remember my numbers fell off relatively, you know, steadily and such, but I uploaded pretty dang consistently for the, I don't know, 13 people who cared. So, yeah, just start, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about comic making doing that. So, when I say just do it, just do it. The only Rooster Teeth series I've watched are Ruby, Camp Camp, and Nomad of Nowhere. I think I watched some of Camp Camp. It was funnier than Ruby. I didn't like it because in season 2 of Camp Camp, hang on, I need a drink of water. in season 2 of Camp Camp. They introduced like a kind of cult character, and it was just Miles's character again. Oh, that was another thing. I didn't like that all the emotional parts, it was just, oops, Miles made himself the main character again. Like, as always, Miles Luna's character gets to be the one that has all the dramatic, edgy shit happen. Oh man, Miles' character, the big finale is all about him, and I was like, I'm so fucking sick of you. Yippee, we've got the line art. Let's get a color in here so I can see what I'm doing. We'll make it this gray. Wow. And look at how cool with the bowstring being white. That's nice. But I do want to erase parts of it that would be hidden by her. Michael was always my guy because of Rage Quit. And Joel was always a favorite of mine. Yeah, until all the stuff happened. That's the thing. It's so hard to talk about Rooster Teeth anymore because so many of the fellas working there is a lot of things aged poorly. Unfortunately. Twiins the #1 Miles hater. I am not. Okay, I might be. I didn't want to be. He just kept pissing me off. Alright, color! I'm gonna get some color in here. I'm gonna start with not her skin tone, because I'm still not quite sure what skin tone I want her to have. So we'll figure that out. I never watched Nomad. I think I watched somebody else critique it? Question mark? But I don't know. Her hair is confident. Gotta get this red in. Golly, that's fucking bright. Cool. And then, this is fun, her hoop earrings get to be her beak color. Yippee. I think I'm gonna get for black eyelashes. And we'll do that on the line art layer. Sometimes you gotta think about it. Sometimes you gotta be like, what about dark brown eyelashes? Sometimes white eyelashes, but that can be kind of tough to work with. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Like, Ruby's kind of in circulation, necessarily. Like, it's owned by Viz and they're working on it, question mark? I gotta be honest, I don't... Even if it comes back and it's amazing, I don't think I can go back to making videos about Ruby. I don't think I can go back to caring about Ruby. She's so cool! Like, Ruby was so important to me, and then it just hurts, man. It hurts seeing it do us all like that. I'm gonna make, so her hair is this bright color. I'm gonna make more of this, a little bit more orangey, a little bit more reddy. Just a little less bright. It's a similar shade, but it's technically different. I'll probably make those yellow too. I definitely want to get some gradients in here. It's just a matter of doing that, well. Okay. Now, it's a gold color. It's a real gold color because it was got in her feathers. So let's grab that. Layer. We're selecting our whole layer. I've got a soft airbrush. And we're going in. I definitely want the full inside to be this, like, gold color. And then, like, the tips of the feathers. Make my airbrush a little smaller. Do the same up here. Wow, so sunsetty. Pretty goyle. Cool. And we're gonna grab this. And we're gonna do the same thing in her shorts, sort of. Oops, that line is so fucking wide open. I know I tend to have pretty loosey-goosey line art sometimes, but that one's not even close to being closed. Ugh, the feathers being like this. I love this nice loose line art, but it's such a pain in the dick to color in. Okay, I do think I want to kind of give her a cropped top, which is good. It's good that I've made that decision. Let me grab some more gold really quick and zhuzh up her shorts. Now imagine also this Kazooie carrying this banjo on her back. She's pretty bright. Did I dull Banjo's colors? I think I just had more to work with. I think I added a lot to Banjo. A gold bracer. And the important part here, her bright yellow leggings. Now that's Kazooie. Hell yeah. Alright, let's get some line art in really quick. Add in this cropped top that I'm thinking of. Cool. So it's a lot of her tum is now exposed. That's a pretty heavy line for a belly button right there. Okay. And it's basically to make my life better with colors. Stretch. I'm stretching. Okay. I need an egg. I need one of Kazooie's eggs. So I can grab a color off of it. Whoa, wrong layer. This is gonna be a pain in the ass to do it this way. So I'm not gonna do it that way. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I know what I'm doing. Never mind. I'm great at making decisions. These feathers aren't gonna have the gradient since there's already so much yellow down here. And that's what I was kind of floundering about, was basically, how do I do that? And adding a gradient, like I said, you know, there's already so much yellow down here, it would kind of, there'd be just kind of be a lot going on. Cool. Let me get a picture of her egg. That's wrong. What did I just click on? There we go. Okay. Banjo-Kazooie egg. Copy. Eggs! And put those all the way up here. Whoa. There we go. Okay, okay. I almost filled in the eggs. That's what that that whoa was for. Okay, okay, okay. So, easy peasy. First up, the fletchling of her, shit my dick, of her arrows are the egg color. I'll even add the sort of brown speckles, schmeckles, as it were. There we go. Clean up the edges. Okay, good. And now we've got a bunch of stuff that we get to basically play with that don't have colors associated to them, being like the rest of her gear. So, like I said, the eggs do have these brown speckles in them, which is interesting. And I think I do want to keep basically everything in this kind of gray-y palette for her. She's already got so many warms, all this red and yellow, I think I want to stick to everything else having these sort of hints of blue. Now, maybe not for the belt. The belt might end up brown too. Let me look at the eggs again. I got another egg. It's an egg. And this is good. This gets us our brown shade a little bit better. Which can come through in, like, the arrow? Yeah, the arrow and her belt. And then, when in doubt, if you like your color palette, and you don't want to change anything else, use black or white, and we're gonna go black. And black for that belt part, and black for the grippy part of her bow, which is gonna be a nightmare to color in, because that's just what Stripes does. I'm focusing. Man, when is Land of the Lustrous gonna finish? Isn't it this year? Feels like I've been waiting for Land of the Lustrous for forever. And get this sort of brassy shade throughout these elements, including up here. It hasn't finished? I don't think so. I'll admit though, I haven't looked into it. I should look that up. It's so rough. One of my, like, you all might remember that my New Year's resolutions were basically to buy myself more stuff, basically. And then I quit my job. It's annoying. I'm like, damn it, I can't buy more stuff. So yeah, I'm just, I've been looking around. If I can't make it as, you know, a streamer full-time, okay. But, I gotta figure that out, you know? Oh, we gotta get her, shirt in here, which, if you don't want to change the color of your palette, use black and white. They are cheat code colors, but I think I'm actually gonna make it red. That's why I was really particular with all this yellow showing up in her KP-do. Golly, what a color palette! She looks great. Antarcite? Antarcite. Like from Land of the Lustrous? I don't see it, but I accept that. She is really vibrant. But I think that's kind of nice for a ranger. Was there anything else I need to color? Obviously her skin, but... Oh. Cool. Okay. Skin tone. Ooh, skin tone's the hard part because she has so much yellow and red in her. And I think I want her to be a little darker. I need my C layer to go away so I can actually see. That's pretty alright. It's a little gray, maybe a little bit more saturated. Oh, that's pretty. Look at all these fucking grody edges that I just never see because I've always got a color behind my character. God damn. I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Do you think it's looking all right? Let me clean up all my bullshit while you guys answer that. I've gone with like a medium shade, basically. It's basically an orangey skin tone between yellow and red. So we can we get to play across both of them. Something I picked up on from studying Kanari and Iono. Check out my video talking about them gals for a great, fun, cool time. Ooh, I gotta add that. Okay, hang on. I'm just cleaning up the little things here. It's pretty tough to see for you guys, I bet. But that's alright. Looks amazing. Oh, golly. Ooh, yippee. Yeah, one last thing I think I want to add. Fucking color in. Okay. Is just in her alfalfa here, adding a little bit of our gradient. God damn! It's Kazooie! She looks great, if I do say so myself. Looking 10 out of 10. I'm gonna leave her on screen. You guys can observe the bird. It's either at miles away or kind of up close. Here, I'll leave you guys like this. Let's have a short little bathroom break, and then I'll come back and shade her in. Give her some lighting to exist in, and I'll leave the calm background music playing, but I'll turn it up so you guys have something to take a gander at. That she's the egg grenade still. Yeah, that's a different feather. That's a different feather on a different arrow, you know? She can also catch her arrows on fire egg. All that jazz. So yeah, I'll be right back. Observe Kazooie. Looking real dang swell. And I shall return. I'm back. Coming back in hot with some thoughts. Some spicy hot take thoughts. About VTubers. VTubers are kind of cringe. Let me explain. Okay, so obviously I technically am one, and VTubers aren't cringe because they're anime. You know? Nothing wrong with wanting to be like an anime girl. The thing that makes VTubers cringe is how they all fucking act. Like, I look at how VTubers are, and I sit there and I think, I don't want to be associated with this kind of community. I just see so many VTubers who... I don't know, they just all act so fucking cringe. Everything is war with them. You know, everything is played incredibly seriously, but while also it's like, here I am trying to pretend like I'm a professional. But also, I've got a model where the titties are like every time I talk, and it's like you can't get a rigger who doesn't make your boobs made out of liquid. Allison has been watching a lot of React content for Critical Role. She watched The Mighty Nine season 2 or season 1. And she likes watching reactors, you know, and so she's been trying out a bunch of VTubers who have been reacting to Critical Role, and Allison's struggling a lot to, like, enjoy a lot of their reactions, because they'll have really fun, interesting things to say, and have, like, fun characters, and, you know, they will be an entertaining personality, but their model is, like, constantly in motion, and their tits are permanently jiggling. And Allison's like, it's distracting. And Allison will be like, I like boobs. And I'm like, stop. You know? And that's just, it's just all of them. And there's nothing wrong with dressing however you want. Like, I mean, goddamn, I look like this, you know? I look like something. I'm somewhere. You know, I look like this. Who am I to judge about people with titties out? But, like, it's, like, how do you expect to be taken seriously by companies? And when you, like, but then you choose to dress like this kind of a way. And I know that it sounds like slut-shaming, and I'm not trying to imply that women aren't allowed to have their titties out. But it's so much of it about VTubers are just so fucking cringe. I think about what happened with the Streamer Awards. About how Iron Mouse, for the first year in, like, 4 years, did not win as VTuber of the Year. Instead, some peanut guy who says a lot of slurs won, because a bunch of people who hate VTubers voted for him to win because they thought it would be funny. I'm opening Banjo's file to see how I shaded him, and I'm like, and then of course Iron Mouse gets on her little platform to say, I think it's cringe people are saying he doesn't deserve to win when he says, like, the F slur every other word. And it's like, okay, how about Iron Mouse? How come no VTubers ever get on their little platforms? Never get on their little soapboxes to say, hey, Nazis aren't good. No, oh, but my popular other VTuber friend really, really, really wants to dress like a Nazi, but then get really mad if you mention that she looks like a Nazi. And I'm just not gonna say anything about that. Like, it's fucking rancid. And VTubers are cringe because there's constant drama. I'm not even in all the VTuber spheres or anything like that, but I'll see, like, there's just constant fighting happening. There's always fucking documents getting released. There's always, like, it's always people trying to tear other people down. And it's just fucking constant. With this, everyone's always fighting all the time. Everyone is being aggressive and fighty, and I'm like, can we just it's just streaming. Just stream. Why do you all gotta act like you're fucking high schoolers? Most of you aren't, but that's the other thing. A lot of them are. So many VTubers are like kids. So many VTubers are like still living with their parents and are, for all intents and purposes, kids. They haven't had a real job. Like, I'm sorry. Listen, I know. I have been a content creator. This isn't a real job. I'm not saying this isn't work, but yeah, these kids will never worked, like, a cash register job or something similar. Never had to work for a company. They've been able to be successful as a VTuber, since, and now they have no idea, like, no level of, like, work ethic. Not to say that they don't work hard, but they don't understand how jobs work. And then they like, try to enter some level of a corporate existence, and then they have meltdowns because they can't play whatever they want. And it's like, yeah, there are fucking rules you need to follow, and you're not exempt from them. And it's just, so often I'm seeing all these dramas happen, people trying to tear other people down, and it's constant, and I'm like, I don't want to be associated with this community. I just want to be animated. I don't want to be a VTuber. I just want to be a cartoon streamer. Can we make that distinction? Could we please? Just because I'm sick of everyone of people treating VTubers like children. They treat them like stupid babies who can't take care of themselves. The audiences of so many big VTubers are awful. They're terrible, and I'm glad that in a way I've been thoroughly ignored by the VTubing community at large, because I'm no one special. Why would they ever pay attention to me? And I'm glad for that, because I don't want to have to deal with all that. Part of why I really don't want to be a part of that community and have that label. I ain't got time for nonsense. Exactly. It's like, can I be a VTuber in the same way that Pumpkin Potion's a VTuber? Where she's just a toon, She's just a cartoon. That's it. That's what it is. She's not a VTuber, she's just a cartoon. I think I've mentioned before relatively recently as well, the idea that, like, it's so many, like, how to be a VTuber, and it's like, you're a streamer, why are the VTubers acting like they're different from streamers? Like, yeah, some of them can also, like, oh no, you're so different because some of you also post song covers. That makes you such a special, unique entity, Best of luck to all of them. It's not easy being a content creator. That's it. Best of luck. I hope you can all figure it all out. Hope you can find a way to make content you actually enjoy, because that's the thing. I think a lot of VTubers specifically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've given her 6 fingers. A lot of VTubers specifically don't, like, they seem to do things, quote unquote, how they're supposed to, and not just how they want to. They aren't, they don't know how to approach their content, how to make content they like, what they want to do as a streamer, and I hope they can figure that out. I really do. Cause as a streamer, you're working too hard for, oh, I lost my color now. You're working too hard, to be, that's okay, I already shaded in all of her skin, it's fine. You're working too hard to not even know what you like doing. C-tubers, cartoon tubers, car-tubers. No, that doesn't sound right, does it? Also, okay, not to just have a little I hate VTubers train, but so many of them, they just all act like they're the only ones who have ever had issues like, people use you just to get popular, and it's like, yes. Yes. That has been how people have gotten popular since the dawn of time. Have none of you watched... fuck. There's a movie with Cher. Fuck. It's a movie about, basically, like, girls want it. Cabaret! Have none of you watched Cabaret? I need this, I think, shading color to be a little bit darker. Oops, whoops. There we go. That's a nice color, though. I found the color I need here. I watched a clip of Northern Lion earlier. I don't watch Northern Lion, but, like, I know of him. I feel like it's only recently that I fully grasped that he's a different person from Vati Vidya. But I saw a clip of him, and he said something that was so poignant and good. And nope, I'm uncultured. Well, that's alright. I think it's a pretty mid movie anyway. But it's basically that. It's girls tearing each other down to get popular, and that's kind of just how it works in the industry. But anyway, you could also watch Chicago for a similar plot. And that one's got a great music in it. 10 out of 10 music, awesome directing. Chicago rules. Anyway, yeah, the Northern Lion clip I saw, he was talking about seeing movies for dates, and I guess his chat were denouncing the idea of taking a date to an R-rated movie because sex scenes and farts. Like, they don't want to watch sex scenes with other people, and that girls wouldn't like farts. I don't know what specific movie they were all talking about that has these two things so prominently featured that it's something to worry about on a date. But Northern Lion was basically crashing out in that because that's a ludicrous thing to worry about, basically. It's like, and he's like, I can't believe there are adults who cover their eyes during sex scenes, and you know, some people are uncomfortable with that. That's okay. But also, it's like, and you don't recognize that the girl can just be okay with farts, that maybe she can voice whether or not she wants to see the sex scenes or not herself. Like, somebody had mentioned, had posited, why would you bring your grandpa? Because I think Northern Lion mentioned that he saw some Quentin Tarantino movie with his grandpa. And it's like, why would you bring your grandpa to that? And Northern Lion, that was when the crash out really began. He's like, because he likes cinema! Because you don't see these other people as people. You don't recognize other people as real people. You don't see them as you think you're the only person who is real, who has thoughts and opinions and can enjoy complex nuances in cinema. You think you're the only one like that. You don't see these people as people. And I was so glad to hear Northern Lion say that, because it's like a concept I've been aware of to some degree. And not like with you guys necessarily or anything, but like online. This sort of like inability to recognize other people as real people, and not in a main character syndrome sort of way, but in this other kind of special nuanced way of just like not acknowledging that other people can have opinions necessarily. And I think about it in a specific example. I'll read your comment in a second, Overhypen. Don't worry, I see you. A good specific example of this that I'm kind of thinking of is in Project Sekai. So in Project Sekai, there's a lot of like rated M songs, basically. The musicians, like the vocalists, are all adults, and these are all songs that have been popular in the Vocaloid community. And I think a very, really noteworthy one is one that has a 3D MV, which I think was to its detriment because it really limited their, the way they could dance to the song. And that's, Mind Brand. That's the one that, if you've heard it, you probably recognize the hook of Welcome to the Mindfuck. So that song is about, a girl leaving a baby in a locker. That was a real event. I know, this is gonna be a small, intense section. That was a real event that happened in Japan. A girl had become pregnant. Probably not by choice, and she left her baby in a storage locker, basically, at, a train station. And that's what the song was about. And there was an MV for that in Project Sekai, because it's a very popular song. And I had noted in my video, ranking music videos, how, the themes were so intense that they couldn't really do too much with the dancing. And I think about this comment so often. I didn't reply because I didn't know what to say, but someone had replied with, why are they even having, these child characters, these characters who are teens, dance and sing to a song about something like this anyway? And I'm like, because teens, this event happened to a teen. Teens are familiar with all of these concepts. They can have thoughts and feelings about these sorts of events. They can, and it's a song that teens can enjoy. Have enjoyed, do enjoy. Like, you are not special for being the what you perceive to be the only adult in the room. And it's like, I'm like, are you a teen? Do you find this offensive or affronting, or are you an adult who thinks teens can't handle these sorts of topics? Because it's that sort of mentality that, like, kids shouldn't be learning about this sort of stuff. That completely kneecaps children learning about these more mature themes in a safe setting, parentheses, fucking school. Watch my VTuber rant kick off another VTuber drama. I'd be flabbergasted because I'm like, you all know who I am and now you all speak up? Yeah, moral guardians for sure. And it's like, this is why, like refusing the idea that kids can, or teens rather, can approach learning some of these topics. I'm gonna do a cool thing with her cape, don't worry. These topics is what strips them of being able to learn these things in a school setting, where actual professionals who know how to teach this stuff is, like, equipped to teach this stuff. And eventually you have to come to, you know, the grips with the fact that the kids can handle learning about some of this pretty intense and more intense things, and refusing to acknowledge when children become old enough to handle that sort of stuff is why we have a generation who struggles with media, like, literacy kind of a thing. I don't know, I guess that's all I have to say about that. Let's see what Overhypen had to say. Speaking of movies, what's your opinion on going to the movies as a first date? I've heard many people say it's bad and it was good. I don't think I like it. I guess I don't hate the idea. Go to a movie theater. I wouldn't want to go to his place or him go to my place as a first date. But go to a movie theater to watch a movie, I don't think I would want to unless we did it kind of early on in the day. And my reason is I want to talk to my date. I would want to be able to interact with him. Going to a movie as your first date, like, yeah, afterwards you can talk about the movie. And that's a boon there, isn't it? That you have, you know, a clear thing to get to discuss. But I wanna, you're not even looking at your partner or anything at a movie. You're stuck looking at the movie. And if it's a bad movie, that sucks. Yeah, I guess you run the chance of being like, well, this movie kind of blows, let's make out instead, being kind of the course of action. But if you're like me, you know, it's a first date. My goal right now isn't to make out and stuff. My goal, first and foremost, is to talk to somebody, to get to know them better. If I already know them, like if we're kind of friends first and then decide, hey, let's go on a date or something, I could see a movie being a good avenue to discussion. But again, I would want it to be early enough in the day that it's like, okay, we go to a movie, and then after that, we go to a restaurant or something. Get some coffee or whatever. And then we can talk about the movie. And then that kind of, and if it's a good movie, it opens up an avenue to discussing some more intense things. Like getting to pick into, like, okay, do we agree politically? Kind of a deal, you know? But I think generally I wouldn't be interested in a first date at a movie theater. Great question though. I don't have an option of what the best thing for a first date would be, other than I guess let's go eat. First date, cool. Let's go to there's a cute cafe, pretty nearby. Want to go there? We can get some coffee and like muffins. You know. Shit happens. It's best teens learn about it, especially if we can help them get out of a similar situation. Exactly. Yeah, so I think trying to shelter the children is overall hurting them in the long run. Where's my color? Where am I? What happened? Okay. But yeah, Mind Brand rules. You should all listen to Mind Brand. And what's nice is, that's the thing, when you listen to Japanese music, when it's got more intense themes, it could be kind of easy to ignore that. In case it's something that's like, I don't really want to, you know, handle some heavy stuff, but the beat rules. So let's do that. Food is the way to the heart. You know, it do be. It does give think of the children. I saw fucking Moana as an adult with a date because nothing else was playing. It was fun, but also like we didn't have a whole lot to discuss afterwards. If it's something you both are really into, I think that could be, you know, like you don't need to go out and see like Oppenheimer as your first date of choice. You know, you could temper things a little bit by being like, okay, you know what, we're both gamers, let's go watch the new Wreck-It Ralph, and then you go to the theaters and watch Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph breaks the internet. Is Pippin snoring? Either Pippin is snoring or someone's got a weird squeaky tire outside. Both are incredibly possible. We def need more Sonic Says type shows. We do. We do. I saw a TikTok the other day that it was so good. It was so perfect. And it's a sentiment I've had for a while now. And I liked it because it echoed what my already existing opinion. But basically it was making fun of parents of kids these days who just try to, you know, iPad, why are you still crying? You know, being like when parents are expected to actually take care of their children and they just keep trying to throw iPads at them instead. And I'm like, yeah, people shit on iPad kids. The problem is the parents aren't parenting these days. And I don't know why. I don't know what fucking happened, but yeah, they all use iPads as like a crutch, and it is to their detriment and the kids' detriment. No one, there's no rule book on how to be a good parent. And everyone fucks up as a parent, eventually. But golly, some people are fucking up way harder than others. Also, with most Japanese songs, it's funny how they sound so cheery, but the lyrics are so dark. I mean, that happens in English plenty, too. Bad Moon on the Right. There's a bad moon on the right. That's by Creedence Clearwater Revival. 10 out of 10 song. That is about like the apocalypse. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. It's not an uncommon thing across all languages. I think it's just easier to miss when it's in a language you don't natively speak, huh? Dude, man, I hope any of you know either of those songs. I talk about music sometimes and I'm like, no one knows anything. No one knows anything that's old anymore. I had a coworker who didn't know who David Bowie was, and I was like, no, we've failed the youth. It's like parents don't know how to parent, don't have kids, and exactly! I don't even know. There's no good excuse for it anymore. There used to be Bible thumpers were really, really eager to push people into having children. But now it's like, you chose this. You decided this, and you're just fucking up. It blows my blood to see how much my kids' friends are just sucked into a screen. Like, bro, you have a whole ass pool. Yes! That's the thing. There's nothing necessarily wrong with iPads. It's certainly better than being bored. I don't know why people fucking romanticize boredom so much. We used to have to, use our imagination. Yeah, and you know what? I was a lot bored. It's why I drew so much, because there was at least something to do. And so there's nothing inherently wrong with an iPad that can be educationally stimulating or, in a way, paper, just more accessible, depending on how your kid approaches it. But yeah, just there is a wrong way to, and I think limiting screen time is super important. And I just think a lot of parents don't know that, because it does seem like such an easy solution, doesn't it? They're crying. Let's put on Miss Rachel. They're crying. Give them the iPad. They can play their games. They're crying. And it's like, yeah, kids cry. And sometimes what they need isn't a screen, but a mom or a dad. A parent, a guardian. And especially if they're at a whole ass pool. Like, bro, I can't even swim. And I would know, it's like, I don't want to bring my Game Boy to the pool, not because I'm afraid I'll drop it, but because I'm at the fucking pool. The point is being wet, being wet and the sun's in your eyes. And you can't see because you have to take your glasses off. I listened to End of the World as We Know It a lot as a child thanks to Chicken Little. Oh yeah, that wasn't Chicken Little. I think wasn't it a cover by Bare Naked Ladies though? I know Bare Naked Ladies basically like they were like the main band for that whole movie, wasn't it? It was my introduction to the band for sure. I was listening to a video about TikTok cults at work. I listen to weird stuff, I know. And in one of the stories, it talked about 2 3-year-olds who somehow got recruited, and all I thought was, why are 3-year-olds on TikTok? Yeah! Parents need to watch what their kids are doing. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what maybe, I got a lot of younger folks in chat, but, so I don't know how much insight you all will have and stuff like this, but for the older kids bumming around, the older sprinkles. What do you think? How do you think about this? Back in my day, I remember if a kid started crying in the store, mom would do something. Whether that, or dad, you know, parent or guardian would do something. They would either, like, take the kid outside, or start like hey, you stop that. You know, that kind of, you know, they would try to do something about it. And I feel like nowadays, parents will just hold their kid who's wailing, fucking throwing their head back, crying as loud as they can, just bumming around a store. Not a care in the world. Everyone else's ears are getting fucking blasted out because their kid can't stop crying, and they're doing nothing. They're just letting the tantrum run. And I recognize, that I've got so much fog in my throat. And I recognize that there is validity to, like, not succumbing to a tantrum. If you basically ignore a kid when they're behaving like that, it's teaching them that this behavior isn't going to get rewarded, but also, especially when they're really little, you're teaching them that it's okay to just keep doing it. You're not teaching them that this isn't appropriate, you know? And so, I don't know. Maybe it was, you know, a different story back in the day and I just don't remember it, but I feel like parents just, they used to try to stop their kids when they were crying so much, or at least would be embarrassed enough to take them outside and sit in the car with them, or what have you. And I just feel like I just see so many parents these days doing nothing, just having their kids scream and cry in the store or in the restaurant. You can control your child without being overbearing. Parents forget authority is kind of important for a kid's development, yeah. I've been in stores where I heard babies crying and I was like, bro, do something about that. I will say out loud, maybe not directly to the person, but I'll be like, leave. I go to the store a lot and I've seen a good mix of parents who actually do things and some who just ignore them. So there's still some hope. That's fair. That do be fair. From my personal experience, when I was a shitty 5-year-old, my mom actually tried to do something. Though, to be fair, that's sometime before we learned about my autism, so I don't know if that would affect anything we didn't know. You know, that's true. That do be true. But also, I don't know, we can't be throwing the autistic kids under the bus like that. We can't be like, oh, well, you know, neurodivergence, you know, just let them cry, kind of a mentality. It's tough. It's tough being a parent. I'm flabbergasted so many people want to do it. Cool. We're almost done. I think we got some gold elements we need to really make shine, but also a special shade of blue for her bluey eggs. Ooh, hell yeah. That's nice. Sometimes you just gotta appreciate your own art. Just a little bit. Hang on, I'm thinking about the third dimension. You know how it gets sometimes. Okay, we're all good. I'm sorry, but as someone who is autistic, I think something should still be done. I mean, I agree. There are different ways, and I think that's the thing. I think there are different ways to approach every kid. Kids are people. At the end of the day. one parent may have to go, hey, you behave, you know, and another parent may be like, hey, it's alright, hey, what do we do when we're sad, you know, and kind of soft gloved, but trying anything. But that's also the thing, I've seen parents who do try, who they do everything totally right, and then their kid continues to scream and cry and throw a tantrum. And that's rough, because it's like, you did everything right. And the universe rewarded you with nothing. And that's how kids work. And sometimes you have to be willing to accept that, okay, kid's not listening today, I guess. It's tough but rewarding, at least for us. Well, that's good. I hope you enjoy parenthood, and I hope when your kids grow up, they willingly still interact with you. I think there's a whole thing about people refusing to discipline their kids nowadays because it seems like everything is being labeled as abuse when it's clearly not. Yeah, I think it's probably reactionary. Most things in life tend to be. We're basically always trying to do the opposite of what was done to us as people. It's why a lot of kids also rubber band on the, political spectrum. You know, most generations usually flip-flop. For example, in America, the kids of Republicans will usually end up Democrats. Kids of Democrats often end up Republicans. And it's just has happened to be how generations work. It's the same thing can be seen in fashion. Loose jeans, skinny jeans, loose jeans, skinny jeans, etc., etc. And so it's probably something related to that. And I don't know. I just know I don't want to have kids. Wow, she looks great. Sorry, I just remembered I was making art, and it looks awesome. Reminds me of those videos where the younger kid refuses to get into the car for school and the mom is being all gentle and the older sibling just grabs the kid and throws them into the car. Yeah. For real. That's a boon about having kids, is parenting is hard. Having more kids can help. And, you know, not like in a necessarily an oldest daughter having to basically act as the parent for kids. But just in general, older siblings can help a lot. So, I think that's especially to their benefit. If they do want to have a family, you know, moving down the line, seeing how your parents fuck up, and seeing how you can help, can do a lot for teaching kids things about maturity and growing and all that jazz. We're almost done. We're adding some shine to places. Oh wow, yeah, I forgot I did some really intense shine for Banjo. We can do a similar thing for Kazooie. I've gotten rid of my my colors here just so I can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better. There's the shading though, pretty nice stuff, huh? There's a shading without line art. Wow, the ghost of Kazooie. Oh, I forgot I also want to do something with the shadow layer. Let me do that really quick. So we're gonna select our shadow layer. No, we're not. I'm gonna select the area that I want to focus on. We're gonna make the cape fancy. And basically I'm making my eraser really soft. Really, really soft and really, really big. And then you erase the edge. I'm gonna make it even a little bit harder than that. You erase the edge of the inside edge of something to give it like volume, basically. It make good go. And so yeah, that's how you, and you can see this with long hair and capes as well. You can see it on Blanche, for example, in my my Pokemon region that I made. Do you like how swiftly I jump into, I'm explaining how art works. And there you go, it just gives some dimension and variety to the values. Nice stuff. Pretty, if I do say so myself. I don't like corporal punishment, but sometimes for a child, just the threat of a belt slap is good enough from what I've seen growing up. It's true. It do be true. I remember my parents, I think I've only ever been spanked like once. And my mom seemed like unhappy to do it. But it was counting. 1, 2, and you don't want to know what happens when they get to 3. Sometimes just the threat of it can be enough. It's like, okay, I can get punished. I understand I should stop. But also, I don't know. I agree, I'm not into corporal punishment much either. Blanche mentioned. I got a comment, I'm so embarrassed. I got a comment on my, on that video, asking if Blanche and Stella are sisters. And I thought it's because they're both darker skinned with lighter hair. A trend that is very popular, I like it a whole lot. And I hadn't considered that with the two of them, that they both kind of had that same sort of general palette. And I was like, no, if they were to be sisters, oh, that's a weird hiccup. If they were to be sisters, then I would have mentioned that. And then the person specifies, like, this was a reference to Streetcar Named Desire. And I was like, oh, fuck! They're like, it's a play. And also a book and a movie, and I'm like, no! I'm a theater kid, I should've known! No, I've embarrassed myself! I've just never been much of a streetcar fan, I guess. So yeah, I was embarrassed. And I told them, I was like, oh, I thought you were asking because of the hair. And they were like, oh, that makes sense. And like, they were cool about it, but I was embarrassed. Twiins art teacher Inc. Thank you. Yeah, the middle name, that does a lot. Yeah. Never got spanked as a kid. The most my parents did was just put us in the corner. I was a pretty good kid. I don't know. I feel like my parents were always counting at me. You know, that, 1, 2 that I just mentioned. The threat of you could be in trouble if you don't do what I say. And I just don't know why. I'm trying to recall, because we were always good kids, but it's like my mom wanted to have delinquents. She would always do that kind of crap where, like, I remember, for Christmas, she's like, now don't go looking for Christmas presents. Don't go snooping around in my room or anything. And I don't know about you guys, I never wanted to find Christmas presents early. The fun part is like going, oh, I wonder what it is. And so we'd be like, okay. It's like we've never done that. I don't know why. I just feel like that was always happening with my mom. She was always just like, now don't go, being bad. And it's like, we aren't. Later on in life, she got mad that we, like, never did anything. I was like, don't you girls want to go outside? Don't you have friends? Don't you want to go to parties? No? What parties? Are people inviting you to parties? They're not inviting us. Being a parent is hard. It's even harder when you want kids who are delinquents, I guess. I have 2 middle names, so there was levels of how fucked are you. Oof. Wanted an excuse to yell. Yeah, probably. Why didn't you guys get the cops after you? I wanted to yell at you and tell you they're not gonna pick you up from jail, right? I don't know. I don't know. I think she was just bored. Probably. She lived a pretty boring life. I say that she does still live a boring life. And I think having kids to, like, break up her monotony, I think that's what she wanted. And what a shame. What a shame she raised good kids who behaved and listened to the rules. Oh my god. Arrows are so hard. This is going swimmingly. I'm having a great time. The dreaded back up, zoom back in, back up, zoom back in. Watching that is a nightmare. I'll say it. As an artist, like, seeing someone else do that, it's, like, gross. Gross, I don't want to watch this stream anymore. But I recognize that it is fucking the strongest thing you can do as an artist, is zoom in, then zoom out, then zoom in, then zoom out. But it is nightmarish to look at, I'll admit it. Because you don't want to just do your art like this. If this is all you can see, then you can't see the whole composition. You can't see what your art's actually going to look like, because people will see it, you know, like that. And that's why you want to zoom out so much. You zoom in so you can see, like, what you're doing close up, and then you zoom out to see how it actually looks. That's why you'll also see, like, people with, like, 2 windows, basically. You've got a second window of, like, the picture fully zoomed out, so they don't need to zoom in and out as much. Now you know. She's still alive, I assure you. Shifty eyes. The worst thing I did as a kid was call the cops because I wanted to talk to someone because I had no friends. Wow. The cops were cool and didn't come to our house, but my parents were mad, rightfully so. Yeah, I think they charge you. So, but I'm not 100% on that, but I think so. It reminds me of my cousin once. Should not have been a single mom. She's not a single mom. Been married all my life. She was still bored. I just don't talk about my dad very often because he didn't do a whole lot. He's also still alive. Anyway, I remember one time my cousin, I think he had just learned about 911, and I don't know what absorbed into his brain. What took over? What made him decide to try dialing 911? But he does. And yeah, the other end's like, 911, what's your emergency? He panics, and he hangs up. And when you do that, they send the police to your location. And this was at my grandmother's house, because Graham was watching the cousins. And, so suddenly, just a whole bunch of cop cars show up at Graham's house, and it's like, oh fuck. And, I think they were all so cool about it. He's like, alright, so, yeah, this is what happened. Glad to see everyone's okay. I think he also got in trouble. So, you know, it happens to the best of us. Damn near gave Granny a heart attack. Yeah, I mean, especially because, not to out her, but Granny is, she's always been a bit of an herbal American, as to say. Which is old people speak for she smokes weed. And for a long while there, you couldn't do that. So obviously she was pretty scared when the cops showed up. Luckily, nothing happened. That's also why her house smells really strongly of rose perfume. Trying to hide. Which I respect, because this might be a hot take. I would rather date somebody who smells like cigarettes than date somebody who smells like weed. I fucking hate the smell of weed. It's dank and gross and bad. And cigarettes is also dank and gross and bad, but in a way that, like, I can handle. I hate the stank of weed. I hate it. So that's Twiins' proper true hot take of the day. Did I give Banjo blushies? I did not. So I will not give Kazooie blushies either. God damn, she looks great. She looks awesome. She looks so good. Let's put some cute little doodles around her like how we did with Banjo. I'm gonna think of things Kazooie would do. Angles that we want to see her at. Doodle. This has been fun. This has been a fun one. We've had some good conversations going. Granny running the pot empire since the 80s. Goddamn, since the 40s. It smells like dog poop to me. It smells bad. It smells like skunk. If you've ever smelt skunk on the road, it is incredibly similar to weed. And I say skunk on the road because I don't know, I guess we just hit a lot of skunks around here. I don't they're usually dead. I grew up around the smell so I can tolerate it, but I get to where you come from. And maybe that's what it is. I grew up around a lot of smokers, so maybe that's why I can tolerate that more. She do be fly as hell. She's so fucking cool. I really like the skin tone for her. I really, really do. I think going with a darker skin tone plays with the yellow way better. I'll pull up, we gotta think about our doodles, but I should pull up, my, previous Banjo-Kazooie so we can kind of take a gander at what I had done before and kind of compare a little fun stuff. Please, one of her gnawing on a puzzle piece. Oh, fuck yeah, we do absolutely gotta do that. Weed smells like ass, but that's luckily the only real big downside to it. I think there are some other downsides, but in general, it's, I don't know. I'm glad it's legal now. In most places, at least. I'm not sure. Ew! Okay, so first of all, what? You guys let me draw faces like that? Second of all, this is a crazy skin tone. I think I pulled it directly off of the Banjo model. Everything is the same color and it looks awful. Why is his face like that? That's bad. And this is also, and Kazooie is so mid. This is just incredibly basic. This is so boring. Why is her reds are also all pretty desaturated. Why was I willing to fuck around with the colors of things, but not Banjo's horrible skin tone? Yuka and Laylee look infinitely better. I don't know why. I don't know why I was like, the two I like worse. Let's make them actually decent looking. I do like the interaction happening here of Kazooie and Laylee like arguing with each other, and the boys being like, "Hi, hi, welcome." But ew. And I think that's the thing. It's just so boring. That is a boring way to do Banjo and Kazooie, and versus this, already more interesting. And especially this. Ooh, the colors, girl. How long ago was this? This was like, what, 2 years ago? Something like that? And this is proof. Hey, even if it doesn't feel like you're improving, you are. So, golly gosh, let's get this yucko off my screen and add our fun little Kazooie doodles. I smell both cigarettes and weed all the time, so both stink to me. But to be fair, to be fair, in a perfect world, you would have a significant other who doesn't smell like either, I'd say. Back in high school, the dog we had got sprayed by a skunk, and the smell ended up rubbing off on all of us, and I smelled like skunk when I went to school. I had to leave school early that day and didn't return until the smell was gone. I do understand why they would do that. It's pretty affronting. The green guy looks a bit like Doug's old design. Not really. But I respect you thinking that. Doug's old design was really bad. So I'm glad you have incorrectly remembered it being slightly cuter. I remember, I've got two stories connected to your skunkening story. First story, one time, our cat growing up, he got by a skunk. Now, what are you? Where do you hail from? What layer are you on? Okay. Yeah, he got by a skunk, and oh, it's because my eraser's still really soft. We had to wash him with tomato soup, or whatever it is, to like, clear out that stank, and I was the only one who had the balls to hold the cat with no protection, no gloves, no nothing. I don't think I had sleeves. I think I was wearing a tank top. Hold the cat as he was trying to claw his way out of the bathtub to, like, hose him down. So, you know, I do deserve a Purple Heart for that. Man, Dougla effect. And second story, I remember one time in school, a fellow set off a stink bomb in class. and that was a humongous disruption. That was a huge thing that they that classroom had to deal with for the rest of the day. Understandably so, I'd say. So yeah, also then I think that fellow, I think that may have been his last day. He was always kind of a bit of a troublemaker, as it were. And so I wouldn't be too surprised if it was like, listen, just get out and don't come back. Man, I drew this really cool Kazooie, and now I gotta draw her again. At different angles. I didn't consider that. I was just like, yeah, cool design, and now I was like, fuck! Gotta draw the design again. That's so often what I do with my like comic characters, though. And eventually you'll learn how to simplify. And then you finish your chapter, and it's like, great, I'll never be able to draw them again. Until I get to School of Grimm. Tomato juice bath to give her that skunk smell. Exactly. I don't think I've ever gotten sprayed by a skunk. So far in life. I guess never say never. Sorry, I was focusing. I had to make her eyes look right. Nope. Alright, this one's just gonna be a little cartoony, you know? one funny little kind of cartoon version. So she can chomp away at a... at a Jiggy. Mustn't forget her little alfalfas. And her hoop earrings. Then she's got her cute little cape. And now that's why you give your wingy characters capes, so that they can do arm things and have the cape go woof, 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 all around them. Yeah. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. What all do we have with Banjo? What do we got him doing? We've got him with a Jiggy, then him without the hood. That's right. Maybe we'll do Kazooie with her hair down. That could be fun. And then maybe we'll draw her also doing a kickflip or some crap. Me with pizza. Can she throw an egg like Ash throwing a Pokeball? Yes. Yes, she can. That'll be the last one. That'll be the kickflip. Sorry, I'm drawing someone being pretty. I needed to focus. You know how it gets. You are all smart little cookies. Actually, I need a second doodle layer for this. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. Hair down Kazooie. I should draw her eyes first. Drawing the eyes, I know I tend to draw the hair first, naturally. That's just how I've usually approached art growing up, but I've learned that drawing the eyes before you get the hair down is pretty beneficial. If you're like me, and you tend to draw real big, those eyes are bad, real big hair, and you don't want your hair to cover up your eyes, having kind of that that reference for where the eyes are. Even if you want to, you know, you can cover them, you know, if you need to. But, being able to know, like, where the eyes are without worrying about, like, oh, like, I made them really small just now because I didn't want them to get covered up by the hair. And then it was like, okay, make the eyes good, though. And so, doing the eyes first can just help if you're like me and you tend to kind of get in your own head. It never hurts to try new things, so just, you know, just try it. I've been in a real big ears kind of thing lately. Ever since I've been drawing a lot of Pokemon stuff, and Pokemon tends to have really big ears, and I used to draw such small little ears, tiny little things, and I feel like they always looked bad, and I don't know, big ears on characters just looks good, so try drawing bigger ears. I love seeing how artists draw ears as well. I know that sounds kind of weird, but nobody does it the same. No one teaches anyone how to draw an ear. We all just kind of figure it out and do whatever the fuck we can. And so I love seeing how different artists do it, because, I don't know, I feel like you get so much information about a person through their ears. Have her use a razor scooter trick, but the scooter hits her shin. I think we'll pass on that one. That one sounds a little complex, but that would happen. Oh yeah, eyes still visible under the hair. I can appreciate that to a degree. I used to draw ears at, like, the top of the character's head. I used to have them be really low. So, you know, everyone makes mistakes. But, I can get behind eyes still visible behind bangs to a degree. But I've seen some characters, not that, you know, no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade, but I've seen art where it's like, and this will be a crappy little kind of doodle here, where it's like, you know, man, and he's, you know, wow, he's so handsome. That's the idea. It's, you know, it's like a thirst trap picture. And then he's got his hair, and it's like, and then, you know, him. And I'm like, learn how to approach your character design in a way you're not doing this. When I see 4 boys like that, it's like, okay, at some point you gotta just be like, okay, then you can't see their eyes, you know? Because that could be so cool. People love hidden eye design characters too. Speaking of, Kazooie's eyes are fucking whack. I'll probably draw one and then copy and paste it. You know. Let's get her hoops in here. So yeah, I can get behind it, but it gets to a point sometimes where I'm like, can we, let's try a little bit harder. Let's put a little bit of effort into this. Hang on, this side needs to be a little bit different. Okay. Wow, it's Kazooie with her hair down. So pretty. A pretty girl. Everyone likes her. She's likable. She's so pretty, let me marry her. I think she's a little bit taken. I don't ship Kazooie and Banjo, but they're definitely, like, inseparable. They don't kiss, but it's also like, okay, well, I'm not leaving without my banjo, you know? But yeah, I love character designs that are like, this thing, and then, like, that's it. That's a good fucking character design. So, yeah, just, like, do that sometimes, you know? Okay, let's get our doodle lines in here. Dude line. And wrap up Kazooie. It should have been me. They are a package deal. You also sometimes you're also stuck with getting Tootie in the marriage as well. Cause Banjo's not gonna just abandon his little sister again, surely. Was Tootie in Nuts and Bolts anywhere? She feels like, it's kind of like how, you know, Tanya, was that her name? Crash's girlfriend? And then she vanished, and then I can't believe they actually brought her back for, the Insane Trilogy. Tootie's just going the way of Tanya. Oh, I gotta get these chompy twofers. Okay. That's probably good. Did Rare ever actually plan on making a Banjo 3E? I think they did. I'm sure they were like, wow, we're selling one of the most popular games of the system. I can't wait for us to continue getting to make a bunch of money. Oh no! You know? So yeah, I'm sure that even if they weren't like, oh, we've got a cool narrative already planned out, I'm sure they were like, yeah, we're gonna make another Banjo game, because why would we stop? It prints money. And then, you know, things happened. What you gonna do, I guess? The discrepancy of effort between this hand and that hand. Let me actually try a little bit. And by try, I mean hide it better. Jiggies are a pretty goofy shape. They're all like this. Every Jiggy is that shape. You don't get any, like, unless if it's a corner piece or anything, but you don't get, like, you know, that. Don't really get that. Milk carton that says missing last scene of Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, I think that's the last time we did see her, was on that milk carton. Tootie's definitely the odd one out with Tanya and Candy Kong. Yeah, you are right. They are all incredibly similar, and yet Tootie is distinctly different. In that she's the only one that is not a girlfriend. Is Candy Kong DK's girlfriend? Was she DK's girlfriend? Or was, you know, was she just a... Also, okay, so she's a Kong, though. What are they related? Were they related? Sometimes. Okay. Maybe that's why they stopped. Maybe they were like... Maybe somebody was like, wait, her last name is also Kong? Or what are they? Are they related? Uh-oh. And then maybe also somebody else probably went, maybe we shouldn't have the weird sexy monkey. It's like, yeah, maybe we need to chill out a little bit. Kong, I think, is just a species name, you think? Maybe. Maybe I'm not up to snuff on my DK lore. She's good. Kazooie's good. I like this bird. Nope, no, that's a little too round. Wahoo! One doodle done. Now we get to do pretty Kazooie. I'll start with the elaborate part, i.e. fixing her dang ol' eyes. What's everyone's favorite types of streams that I do? I've got a pretty wide variety. What all do you enjoy the most? Do you like gaming streams? Do you like art streams? Do you like just chit-chatting? I don't want to hear no, I like all of it. Yeah, I do too, but what's your favorite? What would you want more of? You know? That's what I'm asking. Golly, fuck! I've made her so pretty! Drawing is my favorite. Gaming stream? I'll keep that in mind. Quickly looked it up. Kong in Japan is just a generic term for gorilla. So yeah, species name. Okay. So that's like their names are like Mr. Gorilla, Mrs. Gorilla, Kid Gorilla. That's basically it. Alright. But, you know, names. Alright, cool. Does anyone still care about Bonanza? How'd that all go down? It feels like everyone was like, DK! Donkey Kong! And then, you know, like a week passed, everyone beat the game. And then the DLC happened and everyone was like, okay. It feels like a game that just didn't have legs. It feels like everyone cranked through it in like a weekend. Which is a bit of a bummer. But also, I feel like streamers have kind of tainted my perception of how quickly people are finishing games. You know, obviously I keep up with a lot of streamers. And it's easy to finish a game really fast if you get to play it all day as your job. And so maybe normal people are still playing Bonanza. I can't assume they are. It doesn't seem like the hardest game on planet Earth. But yeah. I don't know. Apparently I keep seeing ads on it for YouTube. Well, that's nice. His name is Chunky. He's dead. Art streaming includes chit-chat. Art streaming does include chit-chat. I do like being able to just chit-chat with you guys. But I do also, I like getting to chit-chat while doing the art. It's a good, a solid little middle ground. At least on the days where I kind of have stuff to talk about, that's the thing. On the days where I'm like, okay, art stream, and I'm like, say something. Twiins, say anything. Talk about anything. And I'm like, in Project Sekai. My favorite streams are husbando streams, especially when Critter and Allison are on hand to offer their very different and contrasting opinions. I've never had Critter on a stream. That would be fun, though. Apparently, nope, I already read that one. It's a single-player game, so it makes sense not everyone is going to keep talking about it after the first, like, month it released. I mean, you say that, but I got people still playing Mario Odyssey over and over and over. Making that being their whole career, you know, that I watch. So, and that was a single-player game. So I don't know. I don't know. You never know what can really pop off in the gaming sphere. But I don't think it doesn't necessarily lend itself too much to like deep discussion. Now does it? I also like the Pokemon team streams, even though half the time I'm not helpful. Those are really fun. Oh, that's true. They can be in chat. You're right. I hadn't considered that element. It's a bummer. I feel like I never see Critter in chat anymore, and Allison has admitted that when I'm streaming, she doesn't like watching me necessarily all the time just because I am distracting. Like, she'll be like, cool, now I'll put on Twiins' stream while I do something else. And then I will she'll just watch stream. And so I understand why, you know, they're not, and Critter's also, you know, a busy goyle. I understand why they're not in chat all the time, but it is just a bit of a bummer. I like it when they're in chat. It's Kazooie. So pretty. Pretty girl. Alright, final doodle is to add... What was it? Oh, it's her throwing an egg like a Pokeball. But yeah, Pokemon team streams are really fun. I like drawing, general art streams. My favorite, of course, being the art teacher stream you did. Those are fun. I like teaching you guys. I've genuinely thought, what if I become an art teacher? And I believe I technically could teach, pre-K through 12th grade. But it's like, if I'm gonna teach, I want to teach college students. Twiins just, I'm so mesmerizing. That's my secret captain. You look into the, my horns are like Weird Ear. I just hypnotize you. I like the Pokemon and Animal Crossing streams, but I like art and just chatting. It sounds like you guys like everything, which is good. That do be good. I'm seeing, I think, the least amount of people are here for, like, strictly gaming. Which is fascinating. That's good to know. I like playing games with you guys. I do think those are really fun streams. But I also like doing art with you guys. I think those are fun streams. So I guess I'll just keep doing everything. Right, Pokeball. So I'm gonna draw it real quick like how I did with Banjo. Gotta get the angle right. I'm focusing. I'm thinking about what leg does he step on? Yeah, okay. I'm focusing. Don't get bored and leave. Don't get bored and leave because I'm not talking. Alright, there we go. That do be Kazooie, isn't it? That's a good silhouette. Really proud with her. Egg. Wow. That's our girl. College teacher Twiins. Okay, chat. Open up your books. Students. Twiins, are you a streamer? You call us chat every day. A part of me worries. I'm like, what if I get big enough that people can recognize me? I don't know. Twiins as a college teacher would actually make me consider going to college. And if I were to be a college teacher, that means I can locate other handsome college professors and be like, hello, handsome college professor. I am also so pretty. Perhaps we could fuse our powers together. She is really pretty. She's so good. I'm so happy with how she came out. I'm gonna post this to Blue Sky, not Twitter. So yeah, you can feel free to like it over yonder and enjoy. This has been such a productive little afternoon. I think I gotta now get some editing done so I can make a video and maybe do more art, for myself. Well, not for myself, for videos and things. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Becoming a teacher just to meet hot men. Listen. I would. We could make beautiful essays together. I think we can wrap up stream right there. I already asked Kazooie's hand in marriage. What do you want from me? I know, right? Meeting hot men my age is not easy. They're all either 12 years old or 74. There's no in between. But thanks for being here. Thanks for cheering me on, tolerating all my rants and things. And drink your vegetables. Eat your water. Do we want to raid? Was it fun last time? I never even know. Let's see if someone else is doing art. Yes! Someone else is doing art. But I'm realizing I think I actually don't care. So we're not gonna raid! Oh, wait. Do you want to do a raid, Stereotype Gamer? Do you have a suggestion of somebody we could raid into? Because you seem so excited about it. So I don't mind. I don't mind the idea. If someone's live right now that you're like, raid into them, then you know, I'll take a suggestion. But if not, then we can wrap up. And if you're not interested in a raid, thanks for being here. Drink your water, eat your vegetables. Adios. But if you don't mind sticking around and chit-chatting with people, then stick around and chit-chat. Alright, bye. Alright, then never mind. Okay, bye. Adios.